so we're going to knock that man on the head. Two Scotsmen are on a cruise, believe it or not. And they're walking along the top deck at night. Are we listening on the Truman table? Two Scotsmen are on a cruise and they're walking along the top deck at night, and one Scotsman says to the other Scotsman, "Isn't it bloody quiet here? There's nobody else here. It's totally deserted." And the other Scotsman says, "They're all downstairs listening to the band." He says, "What do you mean the band?" He says, "Well, there's two people in uniform running around earlier on shouting out, 'A band on ship! A band on ship!'" Another thinking man's joke. Three Red Indians in a teepee, women, are sitting side by side. The first is sitting on a goat skin, has a son who weighs 170 pounds. Goodness knows there isn't stones. The second is sitting on a deer skin, has a son who weighs 130 pounds. The third, sitting on a hippopotamus hide, weighs 300 pounds. The famous theorem what famous theorem does this illustrate? Are you ready for this? Close your eyes and think about it. Naturally, the answer is that the squaw on the hippopotamus is equal to the sons of the squaws on the other two hides. One more, then a 20-minute half-hour break for you. An 80-year-old couple, not that there's any here tonight, were having problems remembering things. And I get this at 52. So they decided to go and see their GP to get checked out, to make sure nothing was wrong with them. When they arrived at the doctor's, they explained to the doctor about the problems they've been having with their memory. After checking the couple out, Chris is listening to all this intently, yeah? After checking the couple out, the doctor tells them they were physically okay, but they might want to start writing things down and make notes to help them remember things. The couple thanked the doctor, as we all do, don't we? And left. Later that night, while watching TV, the man gets up from his chair and his wife asks, "Where are you going?" He said, "To the kitchen." She said to him, "Will you get me a bowl of ice cream?" He replied, "Sure, I'll get you a bowl of ice cream." And she said, "Don't you think you should write that down to remember it?" He says, "No, I can remember a bowl of ice cream." She then says, "Well, I also would like some strawberries on top, please." "You better write that down, because you'll only forget that." He said, "I can remember the strawberries on top." "You want a bowl of ice cream with strawberries?" She replied, "Well, I would also like whipped cream on top of that." "I know you'll forget that, you better write it down." He says, "No need." It rings a bell somewhere. He then walks into the kitchen. After about 20 minutes, he returns from the kitchen and hands her a plate of bacon and eggs. She stares at the plate for a moment and then says, "You forgot my toast." Right. Lots of tears for this, please. We have two young chaps who want to entertain you with their rendition on the piano and keyboard. Luke is 11 years old and Tom is 8 years old, and they haven't been playing these instruments for long. Nice welcome, please.
This is my brother Tom, who's actually 7, and his birthday's tomorrow. And he's going to play Jog Along. Now it's my turn and I'm going to play Now Is the Month of May.